Right, so first things first, my thoughts on the talk were, absolutely brilliant. It's nice to have people come in from the actual career field. It was nice to see women in executive roles, so that was quite inspiring. It's teaching us that we can aspire to, there's nothing stopping us from aspiring to executive roles. Secondly, the statistic about it taking 117 years to achieve equality is absolutely appalling. I mean, I've never seen myself at any less as my male counterparts. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from achieving any executive role in the workplace. So for me, I think that statistic, seeing it sort of there right in front of us, was absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's ridiculous that it's such a large gap until there is gender equality, especially within careers. In Gibraltar, we're very fortunate, especially in EY, that we can see the progress socially and in the career field, and I think it's an excellent job that EY is doing in promoting this. Gibraltar is quite fortunate, as I said. However, there are other places in the world which have not got there yet, and that is why the gap is so large.
Al, I mean, what are your thoughts? Were you surprised at how long it's going to take to bridge that gap?
Definitely, I was really surprised because I never thought that, being born a male or a female would have such a huge impact on how, you get paid or how you live your life and how you succeed, because it should purely be based on how hardworking you are, how, how much you achieve, how smart you are, etc. It should never be about, how, you're born or your gender.
I thought it was a very good talk as well. However, in Gibraltar, I don't think I am affected by this as much as other girls in other countries. Like, we have our SASC team. Well, for us it's SASC, for them it's responsibility team. And I believe we work together very well when we become a big group, because by ourselves we have different problems, but when we come together, we're able to solve them much faster, as they might have ideas we didn't have, or they may have easier, shorter ways to go about a problem that we may have not thought of. And so, yeah.
Well, personally, I thought the talk was absolutely brilliant. It highlighted issues that maybe not that I wasn't aware of, but that I didn't know, existed so much. For example, Ariane mentioned that it would take around 117 years before there would be gender parity in the workplace, and I mean that's pretty shocking, and something that I thought that we were now coming to the end of inequality and all this, and that was pretty shocking, and it's something that I want to see changed, personally.
I thought it was a really motivational and interesting talk. What I thought was quite ironic was the fact that they were talking about gender parity, even though it's at the workplace level, but the fact that right in front of them they had two schools separated by gender. On one half we had the boys from Bayside, and on the other half we had the girls from Westside. So it's quite ironic, the contradiction that there was, given the whole theme of the talk.
And are you sort of pro co-education, or is it just an observation?
I do believe in co-education, because it's like that before Bayside, when you go to uni, it's also co-education, so I don't see why not keep it that way the whole way.
All right, nice one.
And then I also think that it translates into the workplace, because when you get into employment, you're going to be working with females and males, so why not keep it that way throughout your whole education?
And it's also very hard, because for us as students, we go up to year 7 being with our friends, and maybe just because you're a girl, why should you have friends who are girls, if you know what I mean? Like, if you have friends that are all boys and then you're just separated, and it's really hard. It's hard enough moving to a new school, let alone moving to a school of only girls or only boys.
So again, pro co-education?
Yes.
I think in Gibraltar we're quite privileged. I think it's not much of an impact here in Gibraltar as in maybe in other places in the world.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Probably maybe in sport the boys get maybe more pro in football and things like that, but other than that we live in quite a fortunate society.
As a girl, I haven't yet come across any problems, any disadvantages, because I was born just being a girl. However, like silly things in Morrison's, for example, there were 2 ducks, and the pink one was a nurse and the blue one was a doctor, so therefore there are still parity issues.
Some sort of stereotypes that still need to be challenged.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you think with that sort of thing, because of the awareness that exists nowadays, that it's important to challenge that sort of stereotype?
Well, yes, I think we should continue pushing for equality, obviously. However, I do think in Gibraltar we are quite privileged.
all kitchens are pink. Why do they have to be pink? I mean, the boys can also cook and do other things that girls do. So. Yeah.
Down at our level, school education level, as well, we are, the matter of co-education, we are separated by sex and by gender, but apart from that, I don't think there is any other inequality really.
We have access to equal opportunities either way. So, I mean, I'm talking locally in Gibraltar. I mean, obviously worldwide there are, like they mentioned in the talk, there are companies that at an executive level only have male employees rather than women, but that I suppose depends on the place where they're located. Gibraltar's always been, we always have equal opportunities, so I don't think there's any problems here.
Okay, and if somebody's watching this and thinking, well, actually, I do have, there is a barrier for me as a woman or as a girl, what would your message be to them? Is it acceptable for it to be more difficult to succeed in life because you're a girl or a woman?
No, not at all. I think it should be made public, should be made aware whenever there is a problem due to gender. And I think there should be equal opportunity for everybody, regardless of what gender they are.
Yeah, so they should speak out and they shouldn't stay silent, because we can't wait 117 years for this to become, equal.
Locally, I don't think it's much of an issue, but I think that globally there is a campaign on trying to achieve gender parity at the workplace. For example, this series I watched called Suits, it takes place in a law firm, and you can see that the partner of the law firm is actually a female, and I think that's done on purpose in order to show the audience that females can achieve top roles in professional careers.
Do you agree, Lauren? You think that people, it's sort of now that the awareness exists, that we need to challenge any such stereotype?
Yeah, definitely. I'd encourage them, obviously, to speak out and do something about it and not be ashamed that because you're a woman or indeed a man, because we have to accept the fact that equality runs across the board. It's not just a women's issue, it's both parts. So I would definitely encourage them to speak out, and that you shouldn't accept any inequality, especially in the workplace.